You can't really call yourself Japanese without a bento. It's not just lunch. It's love, order, and craftsmanship in a box. In Japan, where commutes can stretch for hours, and the sun can turn train platforms into ovens, keeping food cool isn't a luxury. It's survival. And when freshness is on the line, the Japanese turn to their quiet guardian, the insulated bag. At first glance, it's just a lunch tote. Unassuming, tidy, maybe with a cute design. But inside, it's a marvel of engineering disguised as simplicity. The inner lining reflects heat like a shield. The outer layers block humidity, and the zippers seal tighter than a secret. Slip in a frozen gel pack, and you've got a portable refrigerator that never hums, never breaks down, and never needs a power outlet. You might wonder, why not just toss your bento in a cooler? Because in Japan, even practicality is an art form. Insulated bags aren't just about keeping things cold. They're about keeping things balanced. Too much chill and your rice hardens. Too little and bacteria invite themselves to lunch. The perfect temperature maintained quietly between office stops and train rides is what turns a simple meal into something extraordinary. Think of it like a personal climate control system just for your food. The layers of insulation trap cool air the way a kimono traps warmth in winter, efficiently, elegantly, and with intention. It's a silent partnership between science and culture where technology bows to tradition. And of course, nothing travels alone. The Japanese often pair their insulated bags with reusable ice packs that fit perfectly under the lid. Together, they create a microclimate inside, cool, dry, and stable. Even the condensation is handled with care. A soft cloth or furoshiki wrap absorbs excess moisture, keeping everything crisp and clean. You could open your bento 5 hours later and still find the rice fluffy, the vegetables bright, and the fish as fresh as dawn. Here's what makes it brilliant. There's no waste, no disposable coolers, no batteries, no fuss. It's the ultimate eco-friendly solution. Efficient, reusable, and beautifully minimal. A reminder that sustainability doesn't have to shout. Sometimes it just zips quietly closed around a homemade lunch. It's easy to overlook something so simple, but in Japan, simplicity hides sophistication. What looks like a cute lunch bag from Muji or a department store is actually the product of decades of refinement. Fabrics chosen for breathability, layers tested against humidity, designs perfected for balance and proportion. It's not a trend. It's tradition evolving. While we're fussing over smart fridges and temperature-controlled containers, the Japanese are carrying their meals through summer heat with nothing but fabric, craftsmanship, and foresight. Pretty clever, right? But here's the catch. Even the best insulated bag has its limit. Leave it under direct sunlight, and heat will eventually sneak in. The trick is placement. Keep it shaded, upright, and wrapped if possible. A bit of mindfulness turns a simple commute into a lesson in preservation. Here's a fun tip. Slip a frozen gel pack between 2 thin towels before placing it in your bag. It'll keep things cool longer and prevent moisture from touching your food. Think of it as a small act of care, one that says freshness matters, even on the go. The Japanese mastered that balance long ago. And that's why when the rest of the world is melting, their lunch is still perfectly chilled. If a bento can survive the morning rush, wait until you hear about Japan's secret for staying cool through the summer, the ice pack. Forget everything you know about melting cubes and dripping bags. Japan's reusable gel packs are silent protectors, clean, compact, and always ready. No wires, no plugs, no problems. Just a frozen block of precision that keeps your lunch perfectly safe. Picture this. It's August in Tokyo. The sun is blazing and you're on the train. Your bento sits quietly inside your bag, sealed and waiting. Hours later, you unzip it and everything's still cool. The rice is soft, the vegetables crisp, the fish fresh. No fridge, no cooler, no panic. That's not luck, that's design. Here's what's really clever. The gel inside doesn't just freeze solid. It melts slowly, holding a steady chill that lasts for hours. Some packs are engineered to stay below freezing, others tuned for gentle cooling. It's not guesswork. It's science disguised as simplicity. By managing temperature so precisely, the Japanese turned a basic freezer item into a masterpiece of everyday engineering, and it's everywhere. Convenience stores slip them into grocery bags on hot days. Bento shops include them with summer orders. Pharmacies sell small ones for kids, big ones for travel, and medical-grade versions for delicate foods. You'll even find cute versions shaped like fish, bears, or cherry blossoms. Because in Japan, function never stands alone without beauty. Each ice pack is reusable. Freeze it overnight, use it the next day, then do it all again. No waste, no drips, no electricity. It's the quiet kind of sustainability Japan does best. Efficient, respectful, and repeatable. You could live your whole summer this way and never once plug in a fridge. There's a method, of course. You don't just toss an ice pack into your bag and hope for the best. Placement matters. The pack goes on top of the food, never underneath. Cold air sinks, cooling everything evenly. Wrap your bento in a towel or furoshiki, and it stays perfectly balanced. No condensation, no soggy rice. It's not an accident, it's an art. Even the materials show precision. The outer shell prevents leaks. The seams are tight. The gel stays flexible even when frozen, so it molds around the food instead of crushing it. Some households have drawers dedicated to their collection. Soft packs for bentos, slim ones for drinks, hard ones for groceries. Preparedness isn't panic here, it's pride. And when you think about it, it's genius in its quietest form. No buttons to press, no parts to break, just water, gel, and discipline. The same simple tool that keeps sushi cool on a delivery truck can keep your lunch fresh on a summer commute. That's the beauty. High performance hidden in humility. There's one catch though. Even heroes melt. Leave your pack in the sun and it will lose its cool. But give it shade, timing, and care, and it'll last all day. That's the rhythm Japan understands. Not fighting nature, but working with it. The best part? No refrigeration, no noise, no stress, just cool confidence packed neatly beside your lunch, waiting to do its job. No fancy machines, no moving parts, just frozen calm. Japan's quiet secret to keeping food perfectly fresh. Speaking of keeping food cool, while ice packs do the heavy lifting, Japan took it a step further with centuries of skill. The art of furoshiki wrapping. People around the world use plastic bags and lunchboxes, but Japan turned a square of fabric into a science of preservation. And guess what? It hasn't changed its purpose in hundreds of years. To protect, preserve, and carry with grace. Let's get real about furoshiki for a minute. While we're wrestling with cling wrap and disposable containers, the Japanese are tying their meals into works of art. Each wrap isn't just style, it's function. The folds trap cool air, the knots lock in stability, and the layers buffer heat like a soft shield. It's insulation, elegance, and eco-friendliness, all in one graceful gesture. Picture this, a commuter in Tokyo, rushing through the morning crowd. Inside their bag sits a neatly wrapped bento, snug in a patterned cloth. No spills, no smells, no leaks. Hours later, when the train has long left the city center, the food is still cool, still perfect. That's not convenience, that's precision handed down through generations. Here's what makes it fascinating. Furoshiki isn't just wrapping, it's language. The way you fold says something. The way you tie says something else. A tight knot holds temperature longer. A double layer adds insulation. A looser wrap lets air flow. Every fold has meaning. Every pattern tells a story. And the beauty, it's endlessly reusable. One cloth washed and used again for decades. No plastic to throw away. No waste to regret. It's the quiet sustainability Japan has practiced since before the word existed. In a world obsessed with disposable convenience, furoshiki whispers the opposite. Care, patience, respect. Even better, the materials evolve with time. Cotton breathes in summer. Silk elevates formality. Polyester resists rain. Some feature family crests, others minimalist geometry or seasonal motifs. Cherry blossoms in spring, maple leaves in autumn. It's history woven into everyday life. You'll see furoshiki everywhere. Office workers carrying lunch, children bringing snacks, shoppers wrapping gifts or produce. Each wrap is a statement of mindfulness, a reminder that what you carry deserves respect. It's not about decoration, it's about dignity. There's a touch of science here too. The cloth acts as a natural insulator. Combined with an ice pack, it slows temperature change by blocking radiant heat. It's passive cooling powered by airflow and fabric. No chemicals, no batteries, just a few folds standing between your meal and the summer sun. Even the government recognizes its power. Furoshiki is promoted as a national symbol of sustainability. Schools teach children how to tie it. Stores sell modern designs beside reusable bottles and eco bags. It's not nostalgia, it's innovation disguised as tradition. The best part, no zippers, no clasps, no waste, just folds and knots. Firm enough to carry a meal and beautiful enough to gift one. No refrigeration, no noise, no plastic, just fabric, finesse, and a philosophy that turns lunch into a quiet act of respect. You know what goes great with furoshiki and ice packs in Japan's preservation playbook? The oldest trick in the book, salt. While modern tools keep lunches cool, salting is the quiet veteran, standing watch over food long before refrigerators even existed. The Japanese have known this secret for centuries. Salt isn't just seasoning, it's security. It dries, it seals, and it saves. Picture this. Centuries ago, fishermen hauling in mackerel, sardines, or squid under the scorching sun. No freezers, no ice machines, just buckets of salt, layer after layer, drawing out moisture until bacteria wave the white flag. The fish stay fresh for weeks, sometimes months, tasting even better with age. That's not survival, that's strategy. And it's not just fish. Vegetables, plums, even meats have bowed to the power of salt. Ever heard of umeboshi? Those wrinkled ruby red pickled plums tucked inside rice balls? They've been salted so heavily they could outlive the samurai who ate them. In Japan's humid summers, that tangy salt bomb wasn't just flavor. It was food safety, travel insurance, and medicine rolled into one. Here's the science behind the sorcery. Bacteria need water to live. Salt pulls that water out like a magnet, leaving microbes high and dry. No moisture, no growth, no spoilage. It's nature's shutdown button. Simple, reliable, and brutally effective. You can almost hear bacteria knocking on the door and being told, not today. Even today, the tradition lives on. From salted salmon to pickled daikon, Japan still leans on this ancient safeguard. Every grocery store carries shiozake. Salmon fillet is cured in salt. Their color deepened, their texture firmed, their shelf life extended. It's culinary preservation dressed up as everyday luxury. The best part? You don't need fancy tools or energy. Just salt, patience, and respect for the process. Pack your fish, layer the grains, let time do its work. The result? Food that doesn't just last, and it transforms. Flavor intensifies, texture strengthens, and what starts as necessity becomes delicacy. And yes, the Japanese have turned it into an art form. Each region has its own method, its own ratio, its own rhythm. Coastal towns use coarse sea salt. Mountain villages favor mineral blends, and everyone swears theirs is the best. Salted cod in Hokkaido tastes different from salted mackerel in Kyushu. Same science, different soul. You'll even find salted ingredients in modern bento boxes quietly doing their job. A salted plum keeps rice from spoiling. A sprinkle of salt over cooked vegetables draws out sweetness and wards off bacteria. It's subtle, invisible protection woven into daily meals. Here's where it really shines. No fridge required. Salted foods can handle long journeys, hot days, and power outages without breaking a sweat. Stack them in jars, wrap them in paper, or seal them in miso. They'll wait patiently until you're ready. In a world obsessed with instant solutions, salt still wins the long game. There's even a saying in Japan, where there is salt, there is life. It's not just poetry, it's survival. Salt doesn't just preserve food, it preserves peace of mind. No electricity, no expiration panic, just grains of nature's simplest preservative, keeping Japan's meals safe, fresh, and flavorful, one crystal at a time. And if salted fish is the seasoned veteran of Japan's pantry, then its best teammate is hanging right beside it. Dried food, the quiet guardian of flavor and time. These are the food world's calm heroes, light, humble, and absolutely unbothered by the weather. Why? Because drying is basically the superhero version of patience. It just won't quit. Here's something wild. Properly dried, some of Japan's foods can last for decades. We're talking fish, mushrooms, tofu, and seaweed that stay perfectly edible long after the factory that packed them shuts down. That's right, your dried shiitake might outlive your air fryer and still smell like the forest. While most of us panic over expiration dates and wilted vegetables, Japan's dried foods are sitting neatly in their cupboards, laughing at the concept of fresh. The Japanese keep it simple with storage. Airy space, no moisture, and zero fuss. They don't need dehydrators or high-tech gadgets. Just wind, sunlight, and a clean place to hang the harvest. What makes drying the ultimate survivor? It's practicality turned into poetry. No water to spoil, no oil to rot, no bacteria to celebrate, just concentrated flavor. Pure and safe. Picture this. Coastal fishermen in Hokkaido laying out glistening fillets of fish across bamboo racks. Sea breeze doing what machines can't. Farmers slicing daikon radish into ribbons, leaving them to sway in the winter wind until they turn sweet and chewy. A quiet partnership between humans and the elements refined over centuries. And get this, drying used to be so essential that people traded with it. In Edo period markets, bundles of dried squid and kelp were as valuable as coins. Imagine paying your rent with a handful of dried seaweed. Sorry, landlord, how about this premium kombu instead? The Japanese don't just keep dried foods for emergencies either. They keep them for convenience, comfort, and culture. You'll find them stacked in every kitchen from city apartments to mountain huts. A packet of kiriboshi daikon here, a strip of dried tofu there. Quiet confidence in edible form. But here's where it gets really interesting. Drying doesn't just preserve, it upgrades. Moisture leaves, but umami grows. Shiitake mushrooms deepen. Persimmons turn into amber sweets. Fish gain smoky richness. It's alchemy without fire. And the best part? It's maintenance free. No fridge, no freezer, no electric hum. Just jars, baskets, and time. When hunger strikes, add water, wait a few minutes, and what was once tough becomes tender again. A small miracle born of patience. The Japanese treat drying like a culinary Swiss Army knife. Need soup stock? Add dried kelp. Want a quick side dish? Toss in dried vegetables. Looking for a snack? Chew on dried squid. Every piece has a purpose, every flavor a story. Here's the deal with drying. It's the oldest, smartest kind of preservation that never needed upgrading. Nature handles the work. People simply respect the process. In a world chasing convenience, Japan still trusts the wind. Just keep your dried foods sealed, shaded, and dry, and they'll wait quietly until you're ready. Now, if drying is the patient monk of Japan's pantry, wait until you meet its colorful, tangy cousin. And if drying is the patient monk of Japan's pantry, then its tangy twin is waiting in a jar. Pickled foods, the bright rebels that refuse to fade. These are the food world's mood boosters. Colorful, punchy, and ready for anything from summer heat to winter storms. Why? Because pickling isn't just about keeping food safe, it's about keeping life flavorful when everything else turns bland. Here's something wild. Japan has been pickling for over 1,000 years, and some barrels of umeboshi plums have outlasted the families who made them. That's right, your sour plum could outlive your slow cooker and still wake you up better than coffee. While we're out here refrigerating everything and praying our vegetables survive the week, Japan's pickles are sitting pretty in their crocks, soaking in salt, vinegar, or miso, quietly getting better with time. The Japanese keep it simple. No neon jars, no additives, no panic, just salt, patience, and precision. Every grain draws moisture out. Every day deepens flavor. From plums and cucumbers to daikon and eggplant, nothing escapes the magic of fermentation. What makes pickling the ultimate preservation art? It's chemistry that tastes good. Good bacteria move in, bad bacteria move out, and the result is a balance of acid, salt, and natural life that keeps everything crisp, safe, and satisfying. Picture this, a small countryside kitchen. A grandmother in an apron layering radish slices into a wooden tub. She sprinkles salt, presses them with a stone, and leaves them to rest. A few days later, she opens the lid. Bright, fragrant pickles, crunchy and full of sunshine. You can almost smell the vinegar in time. And get this, pickling was once so vital, it shaped survival itself. Soldiers marched with barrels of pickled vegetables. Farmers carried pickled plums and rice. Imagine trading lunches like, you've got umeboshi, I've got mizunasu eggplant. Want to swap? The Japanese don't just pickle for emergencies, though. They pickle for joy. Every region has its pride. Kyoto's delicate shibazuki, Nagano's nozawana greens, Osaka's nukazuke fermented in rice bran. Each one is a flavor passport that tells you exactly where you are. But here's where it gets really interesting. Pickling doesn't just preserve food, it preserves identity. The mix of salt, thyme, and fermentation becomes personal, even emotional. Families pass down pickle jars like heirlooms. That jar in the corner, it's not just cucumbers, it's history fermenting quietly. The storage rules are simple. Cool, dark, and dry. The jars prefer peace, not chaos. No sunlight, no shaking, no heat. The Japanese treat their pickles like old friends on a long vacation. Left alone, they only get better. And the payoff. When disaster strikes or power fades, a single pickled plum can transform plain rice into a meal. A handful of nukazuke can brighten a dark day. Its nutrition, flavor, and spirit bottled together. Here's the kicker. Properly sealed, some pickles can last more than a decade. Umeboshi are practically eternal. Miso pickled garlic still fierce after years in storage. That's the kind of longevity that makes your fridge look insecure. Pickling might sound simple, but it's genius hiding in plain sight. It's self-regulating, sustainable, and delicious. Proof that survival food doesn't have to taste like compromise. Now, if pickles are the zesty soul of Japan's pantry, wait until you meet the food that turns patience into flavor itself. While most foods spoil, fade, or fall apart, Japan's fermented classics only get stronger with time. Miso, soy sauce, natto. They're the quiet warriors of flavor and preservation, built to endure, evolve, and feed generations. You might be thinking, it's just seasoning, what's the big deal? But in Japan, fermented foods are more than condiments. They're the lifeblood of survival, nutrition, and taste. Here's what makes them extraordinary. They don't fight bacteria, they work with it. Fermentation invites friendly microbes to do the heavy lifting, breaking down sugars, proteins, and starches into something that lasts longer, digests easier, and tastes richer. It's like time itself becomes an ingredient. Take miso, for example, a paste of soybeans, rice, or barley that's aged for months or even years under watchful eyes. Each region has its secret. Sendai's deep red miso, Kyoto's pale white miso, Nagoya's earthy hacho. Some are light and sweet, others dark and bold. All are alive, changing subtly as the seasons pass. That tub in the corner, it's a living pantry. And get this, properly stored, miso can last for decades. Archaeologists have even found ancient miso jars still fragrant and safe to taste. That's right, Your miso soup might be older than your smartphone and still hitting all of the right notes. While we depend on fridges and best before labels, Japan's fermented staples have been quietly self-preserving for centuries. No refrigeration, no preservatives, just microbes, salt, and time doing their eternal dance. The Japanese keep it simple. Miso in sealed tubs, soy sauce aging in cedar barrels, natto in straw packs that breathe naturally. Every container, a micro-universe of transformation, humming with quiet life. Picture this: a soy sauce brewery in Shotoshima, the air thick with the scent of fermentation, rows of wooden vats bubbling softly as koji mold turns soybeans into liquid gold. Workers stir the mixture by hand, knowing each batch will take years before perfection. It's patience made edible. And here's something fascinating. Fermentation doesn't just preserve food, it strengthens it. Soy sauce becomes a natural disinfectant. Miso delivers probiotics, and natto brings enzymes that promote health. Survival food that actually helps you thrive. That's Japan's secret weapon. Imagine this. During long winters, families once relied entirely on their fermentation barrels. A spoonful of miso transformed hot water into soup. A drizzle of soy sauce brought life back to plain rice. Natto provided protein when meat was scarce. It wasn't luxury. It was resilience in a bowl. And get this, some fermented foods were treated like treasure. Families passed down starter cultures of koji the way others handed down heirlooms. Imagine inheriting a living mold older than your family name. Take care of this. It has fed us for generations. The storage rules, as ancient as they are effective. Cool, dark, and sealed from excess air. No special tools, no electricity. Just trust in nature's slow chemistry. The Japanese use fermented foods like a culinary Swiss Army knife. Flavor, preservation, and nutrition all in one. A bit of miso for broth, a splash of soy for depth, a spoonful of natto for energy. It's survival disguised as taste. And the best part, fermentation doesn't just stop time. It teaches patience. It rewards those who wait, who respect what's unseen. So, while the rest of the world rushes to freeze and can everything, Japan's oldest technique proves that sometimes the best way to preserve life is to let it live. If these ancient secrets of preservation have changed the way you look at your own kitchen, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the history and wisdom that time tried to bury. Let's cultivate a better future together. Our next treasure trove of knowledge will be opening soon.